All right, everybody, it's straight up 1 o'clock, so we're going to jump in and get started. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving and a few days off to enjoy with family and friends and eat too much and all of the things. And you're back to get ready today. This is the last month of the year, so what you're doing right now is going to set you up for your success for 2025. So hopefully you're learning some things through this class that you know you're going to get started on right away. Before we jump in, are there any questions about anything we've covered so far? So we've done business planning. Hopefully, if you haven't had your appointment with your manager or your broker, you've at least got that scheduled. Your sphere, hopefully you've been entering people into My Weichert. We've talked about buyers. Hopefully you guys have been practicing that, or you at least have a buddy that you're going to start role playing that with so you get really good at it. But any questions about anything we've covered so far? No questions. All right. Well, here was your assignment from session 4. So it was to review your local paperwork and know what constitutes a completed file. It was to review your local contract, your purchase contract, and understand it fully. Now, again, I added to this. I want you guys to actually set an appointment with your manager or your broker to present to them the purchase contract. And the best thing for you to do, like I told you last week, is sit down and read through that contract line by line, grab a highlighter, and start going through that contract and highlight anything that you don't understand that you need to ask your broker or your manager about. But guys, I can't stress the importance of this part, because if you don't take the time to learn your contract, learn what it says, and be able to present that to a buyer, when it comes time for you to sit down with a buyer for the first time, you are going to be really, really nervous. And pray to God they don't ask some question about that contract you don't know. So the best way for you to do this is be prepared. So hopefully you have got this on your calendar to take the time to go through it and then present to your manager or your broker. And then the last assignment from that, from session 4, was to show a vacant property to a colleague so you can practice what you're going to say when you're showing properties. Let me let somebody else in real quick. So these are, if you haven't done these appointments with your manager or your broker, hopefully you at least have them on your schedule so you have something to work toward. Okay. So today we talked about buyers the last 2 sessions. Today we're going to talk about listings. So why do we focus so much on listings? Because listings give you control of your business. Okay. Listings promote you and the Weichert brand. These signs, these bright yellow signs with your name writers on them, or your personalized signs, if you invest in personalized signs right away, are billboards for you. So these are walking billboards for you. People are going to start recognizing your name the more for sale signs that you have out around town. So this is a great way for you to promote yourself and get people to start knowing you. So listings are the name of the game, right? So this is, you need to be able to help control the inventory, and this is definitely a way to do it. Hold on 1 second. I've got 2 more people to let in. So that's why you want to focus on getting as many listings as you can. And again, that also gives you other things to promote, like on your Facebook and your social media. You're out there promoting listings. You can start doing that before you get listings with open houses, which we'll talk about this week. But this is a great way for you to be posting on social media. Remember, I told you my first year in real estate, my picture was in the newspaper every weekend from doing open houses. Well, you can do the same thing now on social media. Get out there. If you've got listings to promote, that shows people that you're working. When people start to see you as a new agent getting listings, they're going to start to trust you a little bit more because they know that you've been putting in the time and the effort. So our process at Weichert is a 3-step 2-visit process. Okay. So we didn't used to do it this way. This is new. The initial visit with the 2 parts with the pre-listing and getting to know you has kind of been pulled out to its own process. So this is the initial visit. Okay. You're going to do a pre-listing packet, which I'm going to show you today, and you're going to do a getting to know you appointment. You're not going to go through the listing presentation at this initial visit. The getting to know you packet you're going to do in person. The pre-listing packet is something you've got the phone call. Hey, Tiffany, I want you to come and list my house at 123 Main Street. And Tiffany's going to say, great, let's set the appointment up. I'm going to have something that I want to drop off to you ahead of time. If that would be okay, I would love to leave this at your front door this afternoon. That's the pre-listing packet. And I'm going to show you where that is today. Now, it doesn't have to be dropped off before the first appointment, but it's best if it is. You can also email it to them. But if you email them the pre-listing packet, I would follow up with them and make sure they got the email. Because your emails go to spam and people don't open them. I personally like to hand deliver them and leave them at the front door. Okay? Because you can leave it in a nice little envelope and everything's prepared for them. But the pre-listing packet needs to be dropped off before your first appointment. That's the best case scenario. Okay? Then what's going to happen after we go to that first appointment, we're going to do that getting to know you, and then we're going to go back to our office and we're going to prepare the doors presentation, which is our listing presentation, and our price trend analysis, which we will talk about today. And then the second visit is where you actually present the doors presentation to them and close for get the listing signed. Now, this is probably different. If any of you have ever worked at another real estate company, this is very different than probably what you were taught before. This sets us apart, guys. If you're getting a phone call from a seller from that you've never met, they're nervous about meeting you. They don't know who you are. You also don't know them. So when you go for this initial visit, this gives you a chance to, number one, show them who you are, for you to see who they are, and you get to know them in such a way that it helps you get the listing, because they're going to see in that initial visit what you've already done for their listing, and you don't even have the listing agreement signed. This shows how hard that you're working for them. Okay? So this is the most important step, is this initial visit. I feel like this is what gets the listing. This initial visit is what gets the listing, and you'll find out more about that today. But if you guys do this, guys, we've tracked these numbers 85% of the time with this initial step and this initial visit, you get the listing. I think I already told you in one of the other classes that we had a seasoned agent and a brand new agent at one of our Weichert offices that got called in to do a listing presentation on the same house. The new agent did just what we're going to talk about today and did this two-step visit. The seasoned agent didn't feel like they needed to do that. They've been doing real estate a long time. They didn't really need to do this, and they didn't do it. Guess who got the listing? The new agent. That seasoned agent went into their manager and said, I cannot believe this just happened. I lost a listing to this brand new agent. And the manager said, did you do our doors presentation? Yes. Did you do the two visit? No, I don't need to do that initial visit. I've been doing this a long time. Don't cut corners. Don't take shortcuts. Now with our inventory down, the competition is harder right now. This is what's going to set you apart. This is what's going to show that you're willing to work hard for that listing and for that seller. And this is a great way for you to build that relationship. So personally, I think the way we do it at Weichert, the two visit, the 3 steps, sets you apart in the marketplace. It's very, very important, but you need to get good at the doors presentation. Okay. This is just as important as getting really good at our buyer presentation. And guys, nothing about what we do is hard. We have got it down to a science to where all you have to do is go in and customize it a little bit. We've made it so easy for you. I can tell you that when I started selling real estate and had a listing presentation to go through back in 2007, it was way harder than it is right now. So we've made everything very, very easy for you. I see we have a question. Yes, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Here we go. I got it. I was wondering, what about with like family members that you've known your whole life? Do you still need to do
I
the
would.
two
It's good
visits?
practice. It's good practice.
Okay.
And even if it's family members, you might know them, but do you really know the house?
Okay.
Because this initial visit is not just you getting to know the sellers. You're going to walk through and learn about that house before you do the pricing. Okay, that's a great question. But I would do it. This would just be the way I do my business, and I wouldn't deviate from it. Now, is there going to come a time where you might have a seller say, nope, I don't have time for 2 visits. I want you to come and you're going to have to present it all at one meeting? That's going to happen. But I would set the precedence that this is how I do my business. And there's a script, and you're going to get a script here in a little bit that I think will help you with that conversation. That was a great question. Any other questions? Okay. So the pre-listing pack. So a lot of agents have found that this pre-listing pack and this getting to know you has really made the difference in them getting to know the sellers and to have some idea who they're dealing with ahead of time before getting that listing signed. Because you're going to meet them in that initial appointment and ask them the right questions, and you're going to get to know kind of what their motivation is before you actually have your final doors listing presentation. So the pre-listing packet, what is it? This shows who you are. This shows your success. This shows who Weichert is. This shows who your office is, right? So this is a way for you to get invited back. What you're trying to do in this initial appointment is get invited back for the doors presentation and to get the listing signed. You're trying to get them to know them and their house. And you're going to see that here in just a minute when we start going through it. Delivery, I already talked about this. Now, you can try it both ways and see what works for you, but I really like to have this delivered before your first appointment because this gives the seller something to look through ahead of time and they can start getting some questions together before your meeting. So this kind of shows them what you're going to do and what they need to do, and it just sets you up for much more success in your first appointment. Now, again, if they don't want you dropping it off, you can offer to email it or you can just bring it to your initial visit. But what I would stress is I want to leave something at your front door and then I'll text you when it's there. I don't need to come in. I don't need to talk to you. I just want to leave this for you, some information for you to be able to review ahead of our first appointment. That's it. Okay. So it's not like you're trying to take any more of their time. So if that's their objection, then shut that down right away. I don't need to come in. I just want to leave something at your front door. That's it. I'll text you when I've left it at your front door. So the pre-listing packet makes it harder for them to cancel, like I said, because number one, when you see it, you're going to see in just a minute, it shows everything you're going to do for them. And if you've already put in this much effort before you even have a listing agreement signed, to me, that shows motivation. And then they're going to be more comfortable with you because they're going to see your marketing presentation up front in this pre-listing packet that you're going to leave. So it makes it more uncomfortable for them to cancel because they've seen what you're willing to do already, and you don't even have a listing agreement signed. And you're going to see that when you see the presentation. But it changes the purpose of the meeting. So it's not really a listing appointment, it's an information gathering appointment. You stand out as the professional because you're going to ask the right questions and get all of the right information. It shows that you're organized. It also gets you and the sellers on the same page. It shows you've done work for them already and you've not been paid. You don't even have a listing agreement signed. This is how hard I'm willing to work for you. It shows your effort and commitment to getting the listing. It saves time on your listing consultation because you're doing this in 2 appointments. You're not doing everything in 1 appointment. You're going to get a lot of the information at the initial appointment. So then when you're going back for the doors presentation, which you'll hear about on Wednesday, it's more of just your marketing. You're going back to really show them kind of how you're going to market and talk to them about price. Okay. You're not having to go through all this information gathering piece that you're going to do today. So it also sets you up for a more presumptive close because what you're gathering in this information is going to help you when you run your comps and do your price trend analysis. You're going to have a better price when you come back to them for that second appointment. You're going to have a better idea of where the house should be priced. It's really hard to go into a house for the first time and then see it for the first time and get all the information and then pull a number out, right? Because you don't know the condition before you go into the house. There's little prep time. I've told you we've made this so simple for you. The customization is fast and easy, which you're going to see today. The sellers feel like you've done your homework and you've done your due diligence, and they can vet you before the meeting. Because again, what you're going to see in this getting to know you is they're going to be able to connect with you on a level they wouldn't if you were just coming in for 1 listing appointment. And it also sets the expectations and the tone ahead of time, and it shows you as the seasoned professional. So I'm going to go through the packet with you right now. Then we'll go live in just a little bit, but I just want to show you what it looks like. So this is page 1. So thank you for inviting me into your house. Well, hold on one second. I got to move my screen around. I'm looking more at you guys and I can't see the letter. Thank you for inviting me into your home. It's a pleasure to discuss your real estate goals and explore the potential of your property. I'm thrilled to share some exciting information that will lay the foundation for our upcoming meeting, where I will present a comprehensive marketing and pricing plan specifically tailored to your home. Before I return to discuss the full extent of our strategic approach, I would like to leave some materials designed to give you a glimpse of the exceptional results we can achieve together. In this packet of information, you will discover how we can propel your home's visibility and attract motivated, qualified buyers. You can also expect personalized service based on a deep understanding of your unique needs. I encourage you to write down any questions or ideas that come to mind. I am here to address your concerns, explore your aspirations to ensure that our partnership is built on enthusiasm, transparency, and the unwavering pursuit of excellence. I appreciate the opportunity to work with you. Then you sign it, and then there at the bottom, you will put in the day and time of your actual appointment. So it goes in right there. This is customizable. So you'll go in and you'll customize the buyers or the seller's names right here in this letter before you drop it off. And then here,
JetBlue or the Amex?
I would actually sign this. Hand signed it. Okay. Here is the second page. Now, this is what I think sets you up for getting the listing. Okay. This guides them. This is the roadmap through the process. You will have 2 options with this. So you can see this one's icons. There's also one with pictures. This goes through the entire process. This is also in our doors presentation, so they're going to see this twice. But there are 32 things you do for them if you get the listing on their house, and this goes through this. This is what protects your compensation. Because again, this shows your value and everything you're going to do for them as they look through this. Okay. This is kind of similar to the one in the buyer's presentation that you saw. So what are we going to do for them? So if they partner with you to sell their home, this is what they can expect. This is what you're going to do to help them. You're going to guide them through every step of the way. You're going to return calls and texts promptly. We know how important that is. You're going to be their connection to all services, provide immediate feedback and information from showings, fully represent their point of view and best interest in negotiations, and make the sale as simple and smooth and stress-free as possible. The next page is who Weichert is. So if they've never heard of Weichert, this is going to tell them who we are. Again, you're going to tell them a little bit more about this, but this is what you're leaving behind. This is showing them, oh, I'm sorry, Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking for these pages in the book, and I'm not seeing them. Can you tell me if they're available?
Every page of this isn't in your manual, but I'm going to show you. We're going to go live in a minute, and I'm going to show you where they are.
Okay, thank you.
So this is just talking about who we are as a global powerhouse. Okay, and then here is you. This is your bio. So you're going to go in and set this up. You're going to do your picture. You're going to do your about me, and you're going to put your personal background in there. Now, just because you may be a brand new agent, you've never been in real estate before, that's okay. Go ahead and list what you've done. What is your background? And guys, I love the personality bar at the bottom of this page. You have the option of leaving this out. You'll have the option of 2 different pages, one with and one without. But I think this is a great way for you to connect. So this page, you can see here, it says, I volunteer, I'm a runner, and I'm a dog lover. It's just another way for the seller to connect with you. What if they're a volunteer? What if they're a runner? What if they're a dog lover? Maybe you're a foodie. Maybe you work out all the time. I know there's a million things. Maybe you're a parent. Maybe you coach Little League. Whatever that thing is, put it in here because this is a great way for you to connect and for them to be able to tell a little bit more about you. So if I were you, I would always use the page that has the personality bar. I think it makes you stand out. This is talking about your connection to the community. Now, if you don't have anything right now, check with your manager, your broker, and if your office does stuff in the community, use that in this, because this says in the office and around town, our team is making an impact. This is the things we're doing. So if you don't have anything right now, put what your office does. This is client testimonials. If you're brand new to real estate, you probably don't have this. But do you have testimonials from what you've done prior to real estate? Do you have testimonials from anybody that shows anything about who you are? If you do, use them. If you don't, you can always leave this page out until you start gathering testimonials. But let me tell you something. You need to start from day one, the very first closing that you do. You need to start gathering client testimonials. These things are huge. I don't know about you, but everything I order off Amazon, I read the reviews. I look at the pictures. We travel quite a bit, and we always stay at an Airbnb or a VRBO. I always read the reviews. People are going to read your reviews when they're trying to select you as an agent. So you need to have a process from day one at your very first closing to ask the clients for a testimonial. You can also put these on your website, but these are huge. So I would find something. Again, you can put office testimonials here, but this page can be left out. This is your results. Now, again, you can leave this page out right now, or you can talk to your manager, your broker, and put office statistics here. Eventually, you're going to have the data to put in here. What are you trying to do? You're trying to sell yourself to these sellers and show what you've done. Okay. So again, initially, if you're a brand new agent and you don't have much, either leave them out or get the result. I wouldn't leave all this out because they're not going to have anything to see. I would get information from your manager, your broker, and start including that. Here's another way you can show your sample success. You can show the listings that you've done. Again, this would be an easy one for you to get from your office, from your manager or your broker. Can I use some of the office success stories in here? Some of our prior listings. This is a pretty page, right? The pictures look great. So again, you're just trying to get them to know you, like you, trust you, because that's who people do business with. I love this page. This is great, and this is helpful to you. Why? Because this goes through all of the things that the sellers can do to prepare ahead of time, and it's not you having to say bad things about their house. They're going to see this page ahead of time. So what can they do outside the home? They can trim, they can weed eat, they can tidy up their lawn and garden, clean up pet areas, add fresh mulch, add potted or hanging flowers to the deck or porch if it's appropriate in the year. In the kitchen, clear away extra small appliances, remove stains and items from the sink, clean and deodorize the vent or the exhaust hood. Then there's the bathroom. What can we do in the bathroom? In the living room, in the bedroom, in the basement. This helps you not have to go in and be the bad guy when you go into a hoarder's house and you think, oh my God, how am I going to tell them that they need to put all of this stuff out, get it out of here? You are going to have that conversation, by the way. So you need to have a tactful script on how you're going to handle that. This helps you though, because this page is already giving them steps to prepare their home to sell. Then we walk them through the 4 stages of selling. So these are the essential steps to the success of their home sale. So in the pre-listing, what happens? They're going to meet you. You're going to evaluate the property. You're going to discuss strategies for selling. You're going to complete your market analysis to set the price. You're going to execute the listing agreement. And then we're going to prep for market. What are we going to do? You're going to launch your marketing campaign. Take professional photos, install your sign, submit to the MLS. Then once we're active, what happens? You're going to hold open houses. You're going to start having showings. The home needs to be show ready. And then you're going to share all feedback. And then what happens when we get offers and closings? This again sets the tone for everything that you're going to do in selling their home. Okay. So in this pre-listing pack, it's not recommend, it's more than recommended. You have to customize this information. Okay. So what we're going to suggest, and I'll show you how to do this today, is you do a master template of this presentation. This is why. You don't want to have to go in every single time you're getting ready for a listing and have to update your bio and all your things. That's going to be time consuming. The whole point of this is to keep it updated at all times. So it's easy to customize the seller's names, maybe a little bit of information, and you're ready to go. So keep this on your radar. If things change, if you want to update your bio, whatever that looks like, keep it updated and have a master template at all times. Okay. Otherwise, it's not going to be as quick for you. So you might want to take a screen of this. And we're going to go live, but this is where you find the listing information, the doors presentation. So you're going to go to My Weichert Tools, My Marketing. Then you're going to pull down the print tab and go to listing presentation. Okay. So if are you taking a screenshot or writing it down? I won't go to the next screen if somebody's writing it down.
I'm writing.
Okay, go right ahead. Good. Okay. So again, you want to create that master file, and I'll show you why, because again, you don't want to have to go in here every single time and customize this. Okay. All right. Let me stop sharing. We're going to go live. So I'll walk you through exactly how you're going to get it. Oh, hold on one second. Okay, can everybody see my screen? I'm in Weichert Tools already. Jared, I can see you. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Perfect, thanks. All right, so we're in Weichert Tools. And you can see right here, it says My Marketing Studio. Okay, so you're going to click there. And this is what your dashboard is going to look like. So you can see right here, I have Master Pre-Listing Packet. You can create folders right here by selecting Create Folder. So I've created a Master Listing Packet right here. So before I even show you how to do one, let me go into here. So you're going to open it. This is how you're going to go in. If you've already got one in there and it's time to update it, you just go in here and update it. You can edit it. But say it's all updated and I'm ready to personalize this for a client. You're going to go on these three little dots right here and you're going to hit duplicate. Okay. So that's how you're going to take your master folder, your master file that's already got your bio and all your information in it, and you're going to get it ready for your appointment, for your next appointment. So right now, all of you need to be going in and doing what I'm going to show you today and getting this stuff all updated and getting it ready for your first listing appointment right now. Even though you may say, I don't even have the talk of a listing appointment. That's okay, because you never know when that phone's going to ring, guys. You never know when one of your friends or family that you've been letting know you're in real estate is going to be ready to sell their house. You want to be ready to go. Don't be behind the 8-ball. So you're going to go in. What I'm going to show you today, you're going to go in immediately and get your folder set up. Okay. All right. So for the first time, you're going to go over here and select print and pull that down. And then you're going to go down here to where it says listing presentation and you're going to click on it. Okay. So in this listing presentation folder, here's everything that's in here. There's the doors listing presentation, which you're going to learn about on Wednesday. The pre-listing pack we're going to do today. There's an open house game plan, which we'll talk about later about marketing the house. Here's the getting to know you. This is what you're going to take with you. Here is some preparing their home. You can print those out and take it with you. There's property business cards, which are amazing. There's a pre-listing pack if you're on a team. Here's the doors presentation if there's a couple of different agents. and the doors presentation if you're a team. So we have one for single agent, 2 agent, and team. Okay. So let me show you this first. The getting to know you. This is what you're going to go through with them at the first meeting. So you're going to hit create design again. And yes, it always takes this long.
We will get the recording of this today. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
And Tim, let me tell you that the best way for you guys to get to know this is start doing it.
All right.
And there are also some other videos, which I'm going to show you guys where those are at in Weichert University. There are some other videos on this. So there's tons of information out there for you guys to learn this. Okay. Now, the getting to know you piece that you're going to go through with them at their first appointment is not, it's not customized. So these you can go in and start having some on hand at all times. Print these out and have some ready to grab and go. Okay. So let me zoom in so you can see what it looks like. Maybe. There we go. So getting to know you. So you're going to, there's a place for the date of your meeting, the client's names, and I would put on there everybody that's on title, who all will be signing. I would put all their names on there, all the decision makers, their property address, and then your name. Now, here's what you're going to go through with them at this meeting. You're going to do a seller assessment. Why are they moving? You need to know this. What if they're being relocated out of town for a job and they're on a really tight schedule? You need to know that. Okay. Ideal time frame. What's most important in this move? Do you have any concerns over it? This is where they're getting to know you right here in these questions. What's the compelling reason for selling? Where are you moving? Why are you asking that? What if they're moving to another state where we have a Weichert office? You can refer them to another Weichert office to buy their house and get a referral fee. And this is also a great way for you to say, I know I have people that I work with all over the United States. I can help you get your next agent to buy your house wherever you're going. I can make that seamless for you as well. Okay. What do they expect from an agent? This is a great question because what if they had a bad experience with an agent? You need to know why. What did that agent do that made that a bad experience for them? So these are all really great questions that you're going to be getting to know them. And let me tell you guys, if they said, so if you're asking, for instance, that question, what do you expect from an agent? And they say, well, my last agent just didn't do what they were supposed to, and they shut down and they just stopped. You say, I'm so sorry to hear that. Tell me more about that. What can I do to make this a better experience for you? Or, I'm so sorry. That's not how I run my business. I'm sorry that happened to you. Tell me a little bit more about that. Right? So if they just cut you off at one answer, ask them to tell you more about that because that's how you're going to get to know them. So don't just let them do one-word answers on these questions. That's one of the reasons we ask them the way we do, because it is meant to ask them questions to get them to open up. Okay. And then we're going to go through the property. You're going to take really good notes because this is what's going to help you go back to the office and do your price trend analysis and come up with the best price for them. You don't want to have to call them and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't write such and such down. Can you remind me what kind of water heater did you have? Was it gas or electric? You want to be thorough in getting your information on this day. Now, let me tell you something. When you have this meeting and they're about to start taking the tour of the house, this is what I would say to them. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, walk me through this house through your eyes when you bought it the first time. Point out the things to me that you loved. Because if you loved them, chances are the next buyer is going to love that about it as well. You also want to have them show you any updates or upgrades they've done. And they're going to be really proud to show you that. Okay. Here's another little tip, and I've already told you guys this. I'm a DISC consultant, so I love DISC and I love all the personality uh, assessments that you can do out there. But this is why I love it. This is another way for you to be set apart. I think I already said this when the first week we started. When you start taking the tour, find something that you can relate to them over. So again, maybe it's a baby grand piano and you play the piano, or your mom played the piano, or your family all plays instruments. Maybe you can tell that maybe you love to cook and you can tell by their kitchen that they do. Maybe you love to read and they have books everywhere. Look for those ways to connect with them. Because what does everybody like to do? Talk about themselves, talk about their hobbies. If it's family portraits, they love to talk about their family. Find a common ground, number one. And the reason I brought up the disc is I think I've already told you this as well. It's going to tell you a little bit about their personality. So if their house is, say, if they have a lot of books and everything is neat and tidy and detailed, they're going to be detail-oriented people, and they're probably going to want very specific things done. Like they're probably numbers people. They want to know line by line what you're going to do to market their house. Now, if they have grandma's heirlooms all over the place and family pictures all over the place, they're not probably as analytical and into numbers. They're more into relationships and being, touchy-feely, get that kind of thing. They're not going to want all the numbers. They're going to shut down. This is why we do the getting to know you. You have a better idea when you walk out of this appointment who you're dealing with. Now, I can do math and I can do numbers. That's not my jam. I love to travel. I love relationships. I love people. I love a challenge. If somebody comes and sits down with me and wants to go over spreadsheets to list my house, I'm out. I'm out. I have a number I want. How are you going to get me there? Right? I don't care about all the numbers. My husband, on the other hand, he loves numbers. He works in commercial construction. He loves looking at blueprints and numbers and all of the things. He would want that. You come in here talking about all the things I want you to talk about, he's going to shut down. Okay? Know your audience. If you want to connect, know your audience. So there are things you can do. Open your eyes and look around the house to see kind of what you're dealing with a little bit. So all the while you're going through the house, you're taking all of these notes. You might think, oh my God, that looks like a lot. It's thorough. And that's how you want to come across, right? Because again, this is what's going to help you go back to the office and set that price. There is enough stuff in here for like 12 bedrooms, guys. So no matter how big the house, we've got you covered. But ask them to give you a tour and walk through from the eyes of a buyer as well. So there's nothing on here that you're going to miss if you go page by page and go through this entire document with them at the getting to know you. Nothing. You won't forget one thing if you do this. Okay? Radon. That's a great thing. It's a great way for you to remember to ask them, have they had radon mitigation? When? What happened? What were the results? Was it waterproofed? Okay. There's nothing. Termites is another great thing. You're not going to forget to ask the right questions if you get to where you go through this. Here's a place for notes. Okay. Lots of places for notes. This talks about the description. Again, ask them what attracted them to this house. That will help you write your description. What are the top 4 features of this home? Okay. This page you can leave with them, because this is going to let them gather some information that you're going to need at the end of the appointment. The tax bill, do they have a survey, any permits or construction records, the proof of the age of the roof or the siding. If they have a copy of the deed, go ahead and get it. What are their utility bills, right? So this is something that you're going to leave behind. But this document, you can see you don't personalize this document. So go in and I would get some of these printed out so you're always prepared. When you get really, really busy and you're running around crazy, if you have some of these printed out and you've got some pre-listing packets ready to go, and all you have to do is customize the pre-listing packet, which I'm going to show you next. Grab your folder. This is already in there. You've got your disclosures. You've got this, any other things they need to sign, the listing agreement. You're ready to go at any time. At any time, I would have at least 5 of these printed out and ready to go. So you grab and go. Okay. So this is the getting to know you. This is what you're going to go through with them at that first appointment. Okay. All right. Let's close this out. Now, what we're going to go through right now is the pre-listing packet. And again, it's right here. So we're going to create design again. Testimonials, you could pull them in from here. I don't have any, so I'm just going to hit next. You can enter the address here if you want to. What this is going to tell me is there's nothing listed under this address. Create again. Any questions on the getting to know you while we're waiting on this to load?
I have a question.
Okay.
So the address that you entered, is that the address that you're getting ready to list?
Yeah, where you're going.
Okay. Thank you.
But and again, sometimes it'll if it was in the MLS prior, it might pull in, but you can see it said no address found. You just go through it and hit create. Okay. So now it's pulled up. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to make it bigger. So you can see it's going to already have your office logo in there. Okay. To customize their name, all you have to do is click on that box. And you see how a box come around it? So you just go to the end and you can customize their name. Okay. If you want to customize this letter in any way you can, I think the way it's written is phenomenal. But if for some reason you want something changed, you can just click in the box and you can change that. Your signature. Now, last month I had somebody in the class that was wanting to insert their signature here. They didn't want to sign it every time. So if you want to do that, you can, you have to delete this out. And then you've got to go over here to upload. And you've got to upload a picture of your signature and put it in that way. Okay. Personally, I think you should just delete that box that says insert signature, leave your name here, and you should hand sign it. I think it looks more personalized. Okay. You can change your name there, you can change your title if you want to. Then here you just click on this to update when your meeting is. So I look forward to meeting you on the 3rd of December 2024 at 4 p.m. So that's literally all you have to do to customize that. Okay. Scroll down here. Now, this is, let me get rid of this box. Okay. This is the page I was telling you about that you can do with this page here. This is the process I told you with the icons, or you can do it with pictures. This is a personal preference. Don't include both pages. They'll think that they'll be like, why are they enclosing basically the same page? So either do the one with the icons if this is your preference, or do the one with the pictures. Okay, again, personal preference. But we did that because everybody's different. Now, preparing their home to sell. This is already in here. You can customize it if you want to add to it, but I think that's pretty representative of what you do. But if you want to change or add something there, you can. Okay. The Weichert page, there's really nothing to customize on that. Really nothing to customize in this page about our being a global powerhouse. Here is what you're going to want to update. So your about me, you just click on this. If I were you, I would do my bio in Word and get it just the way I want it, and then custom cut and paste it, but you can type it in here if you want. I mean, you get the point. You can do whatever you want it to say. Okay. If you don't like the picture that's here, click on it and you see it automatically brings up the upload folder over here. So you can change your picture. If you have it saved on your computer, you can upload it here. Here's my personal background. Here is that personality bar I was telling you about. Same thing on the pictures. If I click on a picture, look, it automatically brings up the uploads. So these are just stock photos, which you can do if you want to use stock photos from online, or you can make them put you and if you have a dog and you're a dog lover, put you and your dog in there. If you're a runner, put a picture of you. And then you click on this and change that as well. Okay. Now, here's the one that doesn't have, the next page gives you the option of not having that personality bar. Whoops. If you see this, I think this is a good connection point. So surely there is something that you do that could build your relationship with that seller. Something. Whether you're, again, maybe you bake pies, or maybe you knit, or you are a photographer. I mean, whatever your hobbies are, put them in here. It's a great way for you to connect. But if you don't want that, again, personal preference, you can use this version that does not have the personality bar. Okay. Here's the community. So what do? Again, you just click on this and you can customize that. You can customize the label, the logo from the place, add those. You can personalize these pictures. Again, you can upload them here. But if I was a volunteer, like I've done Habitat for Humanity, I normally do a toy drive every year, and I do a food drive every year. So I would, I've also done the women's build in our community for Habitat for Humanity. I would put pictures of myself in here doing those things. It humanizes you. Okay. If you're going to use your office information, then see if your manager, your broker has pictures of your office doing those things, and add those here. Here's your client testimonials. Again, you can click on there and, well, it's going to work here, and you can cut and paste them in there. But if I had testimonials and I was, for instance, maybe I worked in insurance, maybe I was an insurance agent before this. Surely you've got testimonial from people that says they're hardworking, they're trustworthy, whatever it may be. They show up, they listen, they care. Those are all things that people would want to hear. So I would come up with some kind of testimonials, even if it's just one or two. You can delete the extras. Here's the results. Again, if you don't have any and you don't want to use your office, then you won't include this page. You can also do a QR code that sends them to your website that shows all the listings you've had. Everybody loves QR codes these days. This was my prior listings. Okay. This one I wouldn't change, but you can. There's steps to prep your home. You can make changes to this if you want. You can add or delete, but I wouldn't delete too much, because again, this helps you not having to say those things to the seller, because it's saying them for you. Okay. 4 stages of selling their home. Here is the marketing sneak peek. I love this page. Again, this shows everything we're going to do. Okay. Getting to know you. These are the things you're going to have questions about, because guys, this is what you're giving to them ahead of time. This is the pre-listing pack that you're getting to them ahead of time. And then this instruction page is for you. This helps you print. Do not include this in your pre-listing packet when you drop it off to the sellers. Okay. Now, do you see the importance of making sure at all times you have one customized and ready to go? You don't want to sit and do this every single time. That takes away from us trying to create this and help you be quicker. Okay. Any questions so far on this? Nope. Okay. So you're going to go in and do your first one. You guys are going to, hopefully you're so excited about this, you're going to go in and do this afternoon, and you're going to get one built. When you've got all your information in there, you're going to go up here and you're going to hit save. And it's going to spell check and find all kinds of things that it thinks is an error. So you just ignore and continue through it. It's going to tell you some of your pictures are low resolution. Just ignore and continue through it. Okay, so it's told me that it's saved it. I'm going to close out of here. I'm going to go back to my dashboard, and it's going to put it right here. Okay. So here's my pre-listing packet. You create a folder and do pre-listing master document. Okay, whatever you want to do, and hit save. So it created that folder for me. And then I can just drag this right in there. Okay. So then when I get that first call and I get to go on a pre-listing appointment, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to hit the 3 dots, and I'm going to hit duplicate, and it's going to open that file up for me again. Then when I save it, I could put Bob and Betty Seller 123 Main Street, or however you want to save it. Okay. But that's all you have to do to create your master and always have it ready for you to go. Everything that you do is going to be housed right here under your dashboard. So this is where anything you create is all going to be right here. Okay. Now, you can upload PDF or print. This is how you'll go in and print them. You can also download them to your computer and save them to email. Okay. So let me show you something real quick. Wednesday's appointment is going to be over the actual doors presentation. It says right here, doors listing presentation. It's literally the same thing. You hit create design and you customize it just the same way as we just did. That's how simple this is. Okay. All right. Any questions before I stop sharing this? All right. Let me stop sharing this because I want to go to Weichert Tools and show you guys something. Okay, I'm back to Weichert Tools. Does everybody see this? All right, there's a couple different things I want to show you. So in Weichert Tools, you might want to make a note of the things I'm going to show you. In Weichert Tools, go to Weichert University. Of course, I have to sign in. Sorry about that. Working with sellers right here, the very first tile. There are videos in here on the whole getting to know you that we just went through. So if you feel like you need more on this, you can go to getting to know you. The doors presentation, which we're going to do on Wednesday, you can go in here and get more information on that. Here's what I want to show you. I'm going to briefly go over our price trend analysis today. I want you to write this down because this is not part of your homework, but I'm going to add this as part of your homework. I want you to go in here and select price trend analysis. And there is a video in here. It's a 30-minute video that Anthony Rattaco does on the price trend analysis. And I want you to watch it. He literally goes through every single screen, every single step on the price trend analysis. Okay. There is a short video and then there's a long video. But it's one of the best videos that I have seen, because we don't have time in this class to go through it as thoroughly as what Anthony does in this video. So Weichert Tools, Weichert University, working with sellers, price trend analysis, and watch that video. Okay, so add that to your homework list. Okay, all right. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. All right, any questions about any of that so far? No questions? Okay, again, I think it'll make a whole lot more sense to you when you actually start going in and playing with it. And guys, you can't mess anything up. You can't tear it up. So go in there and start playing around with those and creating those files right now, those master files. So best practices, again, create the folders, which I just showed you how to do. Create your master presentation. Make sure to delete that last page and don't give your sellers the instruction page. And then print and bind it. Again, go ahead right now, and I would print out about 5 copies and have them on hand. So I've already covered this, but why 2 meetings with the seller? Again, it's to build rapport. As you can see, all the information you're going to gather is going to help you customize your doors listing presentation before you go back to really wow them. Because you're going to customize it in such a way that it's going to have information about their house. You've done your homework. You've done the price trend analysis. You've pulled better comps because you've actually seen their house. Just because it's some huge house in some high dollar neighborhood doesn't mean that when you go in there, the condition's going to be amazing. Because I don't care how much money you have, some people don't keep their houses nice and live in a way that you would think they would just because they have money or a big house. You're not going to know that until you get in there. Okay? I've seen tiny little houses be in better shape than what you would have considered some big mansion. People don't always take care of things, but you're not going to know that if you don't get in there and see the condition. This presentation shows the value of a full service agent. It's not just, I'm going to get your listing, put a sign in the yard, pray for showings, and that's it. Maybe you'll hear from me, maybe you won't. There are people that do real estate like that, guys. As funny as that sounded, I wish it weren't this, but there are people that do business that way. And they don't do full service. We do full service. That's what sets us apart. And this shows the point of difference between you and other agents. Believe it or not, anything you could possibly imagine about other agents, there are some out there. Okay? So don't take shortcuts because you think everybody does that. They don't. This shows that you do. Okay? So focus on scheduling that appointment so you can deliver the listing presentation first. Then you have the getting to know you visit. Now, then here's the script I was going to tell you about. So when they call you about a listing presentation, you want to tell them, I want to come and have just a short visit with you. I want to get to know you in the house. And then I want to come back the next day or in a couple days, and I want to go over the marketing and the price point with you. So here's what you say. In order to customize our best marketing strategy, I would like to stop by in the next few days for a quick property walkthrough. Would it be possible to stop by today at 4 or tomorrow at 10? Remember, don't ever stop at, I would like to stop by to have a quick walkthrough. Would that be okay? No. Always say, would it be possible to stop by today at 4 or tomorrow at 10? Because sometimes if you say, could I stop by? They may say, yeah, that's not real convenient for me. It's harder for them to say no when you're putting it like this. Get this dialogue down. And again, you're telling them, I want to customize the best marketing strategy for you. I can't do that if I've never seen your home. Okay? So on your first visit, what should you bring? You're going to have that pre-listing packet that you already hopefully dropped off, but have a copy with you. You're going to get that getting to know you brochure that you're going to have printed out. Your phone or your camera for pictures. a tape measure or a laser measure. Now, I don't know what the laws are in your state. I don't know if you measure the properties, if you get them off the county website. I don't know how you get those. Find out from your manager, your broker. If you don't measure the property, then don't show up with a tape measure. You won't need it. Your agency documents, your listing agreement, and your disclosures. I like to leave a copy of the listing agreement with them so they can have time to review it before I come back and ask them to sign it. Again, some people, some personality types want to read every single word of that contract before they sign it. Give them a chance to do that ahead of time. Of course, you're not going to put the price in there. You're just going to kind of let them read it. So how do you build rapport? Again, you've heard, this is huge and so important, guys. I can't stress enough how I feel like this is how you set yourself apart. This is where you win the listing. So smile and greet them. Ask them to all sit at the kitchen table. How do I establish rapport? I'm going to find something common in that house. I'm going to find some commonality that I can talk to them about. If I walked in and saw, I'll use the same example, the baby grand piano. My family's all musically inclined. So if I walked in and saw a baby grand piano, I would be like, oh my gosh, I love pianos. Who plays in the house? That's amazing. I took 9 years of piano lessons. My family all plays instruments. Tell me about that. Does your family play? Do you play? Are they going to, if they love the piano, they're going to talk all day long. So I just opened up a way for them to be like, oh my God, you play the piano too? That's amazing. And that's going to open up conversation. Or travel. If you see a picture of a country you've been to, or a beach you've been to, whatever it may be, go in there with your eyes opened, looking for a way to connect. Relate to them. So maybe it's grandma and she's having to downsize because now she's alone and she's going to have to move to something smaller. Well, you could say something like, oh, you know, I know this is hard that you're having to go through this right now. I just went through this with my grandmother last year, and I know how hard it is emotionally. Right? You're trying to relate and find that common ground. The most important thing is don't do all the talking. This is not a way for you to come in and just throw up from the mouth about everything you know about their house and selling it. Listen to them. People just want to be heard. When I go to the doctor and something's wrong, yes, they're going to ask me some questions to diagnose what's going on, but I want them to show they care, and I want them to listen about what I'm going through and then try to come up with a solution. I want them to hear me. Make it personal. Always use their name. And you always want to have everybody that will be signing the paperwork, all the decision makers, you want them there. So that's very, very important. Okay. And one more thing I'll add is what's important to them very well may be their motivation. Okay. So this part's huge. So we already went through the getting to know you. If you couldn't see my screen, I'll flip through these though, because if you couldn't see my screen well enough, you might want to see them. So here's the getting to know you. Okay. Walk the home, take the tour as if you were a curious buyer. Take good notes. I already said that. Are there any problems or warranties you need to know about? Here's a big one. What personal items are not staying or will be replaced? Do you remember what I told you about this? If they have grandma's heirloom light fixture over the dining room table and they forget to tell you that that's not staying, you didn't exclude it, and buyers come in and love grandma's lamp, and then you have to call the sellers and they're like, oh, that's not staying. I would make the suggestion in that scenario, they take grandma's light down and go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy a new one and get it up. Don't even let the buyers see that. But you've got to know what's not staying, what's going to be replaced, or what's going to be excluded. You have to know that. Okay. So I would just say something like, when you sell your home, are you planning to take the refrigerator and the washer and dryer to your new home, or is that staying? Ask about appliances. Ask about the light fixtures if they look like they're special. Okay. You don't want any surprises. Again, if you do measure houses, this is just a little tool. It's a laser tape measure. That's pretty cool. In my state, back when I sold real estate, we did the measurements on the house. I had one of these. They work very well. But you need to find out how you guys measure homes. And then here's that seller assessment that we talked about. Now, what if you're going through this and they want to know the price on that first visit? And they will. They may ask your opinion. Now, I know, Tim, that you said you're going to come back tomorrow and we're going to go over pricing, but Tim, what do you think it's worth, Tim? Could you just give me some idea of what you think we should list our house for? They're going to ask you that. Here you go. Here's how you defer. So in order to give you the most accurate price, I want to gather all the information. I want to go back to my office and take a very close look at the sold and active comparable properties. I am sure you don't want to leave any money on the table, right? They don't want to. Some people, this is not what the price is, not what's motivating them. Some people won't ask you that because their motivation is, we just got to sell because I have a new job starting in 30 days. So that's why you got to ask the questions. Okay. So again, I showed you these. This is all the property information. There's enough for 12 rooms. Put the taxes and all the assessment information here in your notes. Again, ask them, what did you like about it? One thing I want to point out, if this is in a subdivision or if it's in a condo complex, is there an HOA? Because that's something you need to know. So be cognizant of that at all the time. But again, ask them what details about the house were important to them when they bought. And then here is that leave behind page that you're going to leave with them. Okay. All right. Then you're going to close and you're going to confirm for that second visit. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm going to come back with a customized marketing plan for you. Does tomorrow at 4 work or does Friday at 12 work? Again, you're always saying that. Ask them if they have any questions. Okay. Now, we have a getting to know you self-diagnostic checklist that I will be sending out to you when I send the recording out. This is just a reminder to you to make sure you're covering all your bases. I would absolutely use these my first few listing appointments. Okay. The more you do it, the better you'll get. You won't miss this stuff. But you need to know, did I establish rapport? Did I listen? Did I get to know the house? Did I close and confirm for the second appointment? Okay. This is what's going to get you good. Did I uncover the seller's needs and priorities? This is a diagnostic checklist and assessment for you to make sure you covered all your bases. Okay. All right. Any questions on any of that? No questions? You're all going to be pros and you're all going to be doing those, going in there and setting up your master folders, and you're going to be ready to go for that first listing appointment. And you're going to go in with eyes of trying to build the rapport and find that common ground. Right? All right. Okay. So what we need for the second visit, you'll need to complete a price trend analysis. I'm going to send this to you. It's an Excel spreadsheet. Again, I want you to watch that video that Anthony Rotacco did. It's a phenomenal video that walks you through literally every screen of the price trend analysis. He does a phenomenal job. And then you're going to do your customized doors presentation, which I showed you today, but you'll go over in more detail on Wednesday. And then your pre-listing packet and those property business cards that were in my marketing studio. So those property business cards that you can personalize to them, you can hand those and say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I printed out these great business cards for you on your home. So you can start handing it out to people that you know, some of your friends or your family or your coworkers, and let them know your house is for sale. And this is how they contact me to find out more information. They're just little business cards that you print. Okay. So most sellers have an opinion of the value already in their head. Ever heard of Zillow's estimates? Well, guess what? The sellers have too. And I don't know about you, but those Zillow's estimates are not always right. In fact, more times than not, they're not right. But the sellers have seen these. So the key to pricing the property is to get all the facts, not opinions, facts. When you're evaluating the property and coming up with your comps, you've got to look for the facts. So our price trend analysis is unique to Weichert. Guys, it's a little overwhelming at first, but it's actually a phenomenal product, because this isn't just the normal CMA that every other agent in town is going to do. This actually walks them through. It talks about the market. It forecasts where the market's going if you enter your comps in right. You have to get good at finding comps. If there is someone in your office, ask your manager, your broker, is there an agent in the office that's really, really good at comps that could spend some time with me? And maybe that'll be your manager, your broker that's going to do that. But don't miss that meeting with whoever is going to be with. You need to get good at comps. This price trend analysis is only as good as the comp that you're entering in there. But this is a forecast of where the market's going and where's the pricing going. People that love numbers are going to think you're the most amazing person. You're going to probably win that listing from this document. Because if you like numbers and graphs, here you go. And what at the end of it, what you get is an actual price range based on where the market is today. Are we in a seller's market? Are we in a buyer's market? It's going to take all of that into account. But please hear me and go watch that video that Anthony did. You will feel so much better about how to do this after you watch that video. So what do the comps tell us? So the solds tell us what people were willing to pay for a home like theirs. The pending sales, if there's even any available right now. The current, the active, that's going to tell us the competition in the marketplace, what is out there right now. And then the expireds, what people were not willing to pay for. What did the market reject? So these are the things you're going to be searching out in the MLS. The solds, the pendings, the actives, and you're going to look at the expireds. Okay? I don't know if any of you, if you're brand new to real estate and you didn't know how houses were priced. Well, to good agents, we do our homework before we price houses. This is why I'm telling you, don't just pull a number out of the air. There's actually a science behind figuring out the price. And not all agents take the time to do this part. You want to do this part. So gathering comparables. You want to do an accurate and complete market research in your MLS. Okay? Again, pricing based on the facts, the properties that match theirs. So solds and properties, or I'm sorry, the sold properties, you're going to go back 0 to 6 months and 6 to 12 months. Under contract, which are they're pending in escrow, obviously you know what that means. And then the current listings are those that are for sale in the marketplace and that are comparable to them. So where do you go to do your research? MLS is one place, and RPR is another really great resource. This is the Realtors Property Resource. This is something that you get if you're a member of NAR. So if you're a member of your local board, your state board, and you also get the National Association of Realtors, you get an RPR account for free. You will have to have your NRDS number. That is your National Association of Realtors number to actually access this website. Now write this down. It's www.narrpr.com. narrpr.com. But again, if you don't have your National Association of Realtors, I call your NERDS number, NRDS number, you won't be able to get in. Okay, so you've got to have that first. So if you haven't gone through the process of becoming a member of your state board and of NAR, you probably won't be able to get in yet. Okay. So if you can't get in, that would be why. But those are two really good places to get your comps. You need to get good at research in your MLS and pull in reports in your MLS and in RPR if you have access to that. Okay. Start playing around with your MLS. How do I run reports? How do I set up the perimeters of the reports? This is something that you need to get good at. Now, I don't know, locally, we have, when you join our board here locally in Indiana, you set through 3 days of classes with our local board, and they teach us the MLS. I don't know what it's like in your area, but you need to get really good at that. So selecting good comps. You're going to look at like, size, and construction style. Look at similar amenities and condition. Look at the geographic proximity to the property, and then recent timeframes. Okay. So if I have a 3-bed, 2-bath ranch over a basement in a subdivision in a certain school district, I'm going to try to find comps that are a 3-bed, 2-bath ranch over a basement in that similar school district. Okay, does that make sense? You're trying to find like properties when you're looking for good comps. Again, find out who in your office is good at this and go shadow them, mentor them, learn everything you can from them. Who you surround yourself with is going to determine the kind of agent you are. So I highly recommend all of you right now, find out who in your office are the people who show up to work, who get the listings, who do the work, who show up to sales meetings, right? Don't hang out with the ones who are standing over by the water cooler complaining all the time that Jared never gives me any leads, or Christy never gives me any leads. Don't hang out with those people, because that is going to be the kind of people that you become if that's who you hang out with. So find out who they are. So here's a screenshot of RPR. So you can see you can do property searches, you can look at market trends, you can actually create a CMA in there. You can create seller reports, and actually the seller reports in RPR are phenomenal. And their mobile app is really good. So again, you have to find out if you are a member of NAR and you can get a login that way. Okay. All right. So understanding market absorption. This is one reason to go to your sales meetings every week, because your broker probably talks about this at your sales meeting. Are we in a seller's market or are we in a buyer's market? Okay. So if we're in a buyer's market, there's more inventory than buyers. If we're in a seller's market, there's more buyers than inventory. You need to know where you're at. You need to know what market you're in. Right now, we don't have inventory. Okay. But this basically shows supply and demand. This is also what helps you in building your price trend analysis. There is in the Excel spreadsheet that I'm going to send you, you will go in there and you will enter information from your local market, and it will tell you what the market absorption is right now. So you'll know. It's going to give you a snapshot of where you're at. But I would say most of your brokers probably talk about this at sales meeting. Okay. This is important in your pricing. This is important in the information that you're giving to your sellers. Do we have a lot of inventory or do we have very little inventory? Okay. You need to get good at this. So how often should I calculate it? Well, I would stay on top of it. If I want to call myself a local market expert, I'm going to know at all times where our market's at. If you start seeing a shift in listings, I would calculate it, kind of see where you're at. Okay. Again, you've got to get good at this if you want to have conversations with sellers. And if sellers ask you, do we have a lot of inventory out there? You need to know the answer to that. If you're coming to the office every morning and you're doing your research on the MLS, like I think I've already told you, that should be a part of your daily schedule. Because if I don't know what's going on in the market, I cannot call myself a market expert. I can't. Because if I don't know the listings or what's pending or what's going on, I cannot tell my buyers and sellers what's going on in the market. You have to know what's going on in the market. Okay. So this is what the screen looks like. So you'll have to have your number of your current active listings and your average days on the market. You'll plug that in and the calculations will do it for you because it's an Excel spreadsheet. Okay. So it's literally that easy. You put your number, you go through your MLS and find out your active listings, your average days on the market, plug that in, and then it's going to calculate where it's at. It does the work for you. You just have to do a little bit of research on your numbers. Okay. Here's a copy. This is what the price trend analysis looks like. So you're going to enter in your comps right here. So what closed in the last 12 months? You're going to enter the data. What's the MLS number? What's the address? What was the listing date? The listing price? What was the sale price? Okay. The under contract date, if your MLS tells you that. And then it's going to calculate the days on the market and the percentages for you. So you're going to enter in your closed here, last 12 months, and here's your closed last 6 months. Okay. So let me go back here for just a minute. So 2 things on this. I'm going to put in my email where you find the price trend analysis. But before, I want you to watch Pete's video before you actually go and do this. Because again, it's a little overwhelming until you hear it more times and you've actually watched it and watched him do it. So when Anthony does his video, he actually enters comps and goes through every screen with you and shows you what it looks like. Okay. Tim, did you have
Hey,
a question?
Shauna.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just hopped over to the price trend analysis, and it's a series of videos. Is it all of those that we need to
A
look
couple
at?
of the videos in there are short. I would watch them all.
Okay.
The one that Anthony does, I think, is about 30 minutes. The other ones are like 3 to 6 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any information you can get is not too much information. So yeah, I would watch them all.
Awesome.
Okay. So the price trend analysis is actually found in Weichert Tools under Tools and Resources, but I'll put that in the email. I'll put in there exactly where to find it. And I will put in there again where you go to find those videos. But Tim already found them, so it's not hard to find those. Okay. Any questions on that? The key to getting good at the price trend analysis is getting good at comps. So you know what you can do right now? If you own a home, or even if you don't own a home, if your parents own a home or your brother or your sister own a home, I would go right now, start pulling comps on my personal residence, or if I don't own, on somebody else who I know who does, and do a price trend analysis right now on your own home or on a family member's home. Because what you know the details about your own home, right? Even if you're currently renting your place, you could still do a price trend analysis on it, and you can pull comps. That's how you're going to get good, is practice. The more you do of these, the better you're going to feel about them. So I would do one on my own home. Okay. All right. Everybody ready for your assignment from today? Here you go. So it's going to be to complete a pre-listing packet master, which I showed you. Print out some of those getting to know you and practice doing one. That you can do one of those on your own home too. Walk around your house and do a getting to know you on your own home. Take sample home pictures and room measurements if that's applicable in your state. And then complete a price trend analysis on a sample home. Again, I would do it on my own home. Okay. This is where you're going to get good and get the listing appointments and get the listing contract signed, because you have learned to do this so well. Okay. All right. Everybody feel like you're drinking from a fire hose? Are you overwhelmed? You think everything looks like it's something it's easy to do? Where's everybody at? I see some shoulders shrugging. Jared's good. Christy's good.
Eating
All right.
the
Well, once you
elephant.
guys, I'm sorry, go ahead, Tim.
Eating the elephant.
How do we eat an elephant, Tim?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. That's right. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to jump in and start doing this. If you have any questions when you start doing it, you all know, I know you're overwhelmed. I know it's a lot. It will make more sense once you start doing it. And if you're a brand new agent right now who doesn't work a second job, what do you have right now? Time to learn this and get good at it. Be diligent and disciplined about your calendar right now. This is time to learn it and get good at it right now before you actually start going out and presenting it. Okay. So I want you to jump in. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Just do it. One of my coaches told me this one time: learn a little, do a little. That's how you're going to get good. Learn a little, do a little. If you have questions when you jump into this, you all know how to get a hold of me. Okay. So if you start doing something and you're just like, I don't know what she said, I don't remember where she said it was, you know how to find me. So shoot me an email and say, hey, Sean, I was starting to do such and such, but I can't remember what you said. Again, you're going to have this recording as well. Okay. But no man is an island. So you're not out there floating around alone. You've got a lot of people behind you who want to help you and want you to succeed. But we can't help you if we don't know you have questions, right? And your manager and your brokers can't help you if they don't know you have questions. So you've got to step up and ask the questions. Again, there are no dumb questions. The dumb question is the one you don't ask. Okay. All right, guys. This was everything for session 1 of the doors presentation, and Wednesday will be the actual listing presentation where you go back to the second appointment to present. Okay. All right, you guys got this. I believe in you.
Thank you, Shauna.
You're welcome. All right, bye everybody.